Alrighty folks, we got a Memorial Day special for you here in the form of a new album review. I'm pretty sure this is the debut from this Detroit band called the Dusty Rose Gang. A1 from Day One. So you can kind of tell what's going to be going on with these guys. I mean, that picture looks like it could have came out of 1974. It's the back. I believe Dusty Rose is the fellow in the glasses. Not sure about the other guys. Inner sleeve here. Not a whole lot going on. Riding Easy Records. Put this one out. Here's a little stream here. Anybody can pick that up. Stream the album. I have not done it, so it's all yours. Did I show the end? I don't think I did. Another little pic of the band there. See that? Not a whole lot going on as far as packaging goes. But maybe somebody can get that stream code to work. Alright, so like I said, these guys are out of Detroit. Your first song is called Love Bug, and right out of the gate they hit you with this Bad Company type riff before it goes into this jangly Jimi Hendrix type guitar, and then the vocalist comes in and he sounds just like the singer from Danova. I don't know if you guys know who Danova are, but they are a psychedelic stoner band out of Portland. I've described them before as Deep Purple meets Motorhead. Now they don't really sound like Deep Purple, but it's the style of Deep Purple with the speed of Motorhead. So the singer, he sounds very similar to him. Drummer is going to town through this whole song. Then you get a breakdown that brings in sounds a little bit like Mountain. First guitar solo sounds a little bit like ZZ Top. Second guitar solo sounds a little bit like Nugent. So they're letting you know right out of the gate that what this album's going to sound like. They're bringing all their 70s influences with a little bit of speed to their playing. Next song is called Sticker. Wish that would pick up a little better. Got to hold it all the way up here so you can see the name of the band. Good long 2-minute guitar solo intro. And you get a little psych breakdown a la Blue Cheer, maybe Grand Funk Railroad-ish. And then of course that means the cowbell is going to come in. The Danova type vocals come back in again. I swear that the more I listen to it, I probably got to like maybe the third or fourth time I listened to this, and I finally had to break down and go and look and see if Dusty Rose sang for Danova. I did not think that he did, but the sound is just so eerily similar that I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to break down and go to look and see if he sang for Danova. He does not. Not sure who he sang for before, if this is his first band. But then you basically just get about a minute of singing, and then you get another 2-minute guitar outro. So 5-minute song, 2-minute guitar intro, 1 minute of singing, 2-minute guitar outro. Your next song is called Person of Light. You get the intro is very reminiscent of Aerosmith. Sounds kind of like a mix mash bunch of A Woman of the World and Sweet Emotion. It actually sounds like it could have come off an early Danova album. Nice guitar work throughout the song, hints of Derringer, Edgar Winter Group type guitar. Maybe the song might be a little long. I think it's a little over 6 minutes, right at 6 minutes, a little long. Now Cavalera is the next track. It's just a 45-second instrumental. It sounds like Jimi Hendrix diddling over some backward tracking. Then Party Back Jack is your next track. Party Back Jack, your next track. Didn't do that on purpose. Nice drum solo, intro. You get some Hendrix-esque rhythm guitar going on. Some cool group harmonies going on. About a little past the halfway mark, song kicks into overdrive. Get some killer fuzz guitar, and then you get the drum solo outro. So you started with the drum solo intro, and you get a drum solo outro. Leave It Alone is your next track. Bits of Cooper, bits of Mothership, bits of Hendrix, bits of Nugent. And I say I'm referencing all these bands. These guys are not aping any of these bands. It's just you can hear the influence in their playing. Then Feel Me is your next track. Gritty MC5 type guitar intro. I've mentioned Alice Cooper, Ted Nugent, MC5. When I was listening to this album and making my notes, I did not know that they were from Detroit, honestly. So they're doing their Forefathers Proud. The song kind of mellows a little bit, almost into a Stevie Ray Vaughan type groove, and then it goes into this bizarre Pink Floyd type breakdown that morphs into this shuffle beat with some thumping bass and almost some Iommi like guitar from like early Sabbath, like maybe the Sabbath debut type Iommi guitar on it. And then your last track is the title track, A1 from Day One. Minute and a half instrumental. Kind of bizarre to finish up an album with a minute and a half instrumental, especially as one that's the title track. It's got a weird psychedelic, almost southern rock type feel to it. So yeah, it's really good. Like I said, these guys heavily influenced by the 70s. They're not as heavy as Danova, but they're up there. They're not playing at 1974 speed. They're playing at 1984 speed. So, but all their influencers are definitely from the 70s, late 60s. Really good album. I'm going to give it 8.25 out of 10. And I know I referenced Danova a lot, but like I said, their style is similar and the singing style is similar. So if you don't know who Danova is, go check them out too. Nothing But Nothing, almost their Danova album Nothing But Nothing almost cracked my top 5 for album of the year in 2023. So they're a really good band too, doing the same type of thing, heavy on the 70s influence, but playing it at like an 80s speed. So yeah, Dusty Rose Gang out of Detroit doing Nugent, Coop, and MC5 Proud. A1 from Day One, 8.25 out of 10. You guys have a good one.